little bit of resources, it frees up some burdens. That's a strategy that many families who are desperately poor choose. And it's frankly less for lack of interest, I think, oftentimes, of families to offer all their children an education, and more just a range of coping mechanisms that leave girls at the bottom.
And in the face of these findings, there's still a great number of countries that spend more on their military than they do on their classrooms.
Developing countries face a huge number of challenges, one of which you may expect and we hear a lot about, which is resources. There are some developing countries who don't spend nearly enough on education as they should, who spend a great deal more on other things like the military and security and a range of other sectors. And, you know, there's no hard and fast rule, but we do see that if a country puts around 4% of its GDP towards education, that those are the countries that are quite successful. And so that's an important target.
And what about conflict countries where wars can rage for decades?
Nowhere else is it so imperative that the next generation, who's going to be the future leaders of these countries, gets a really solid base in good literacy, numeracy, critical thinking, and life and labor skills. Because that really is the long-term sustainable path out of poverty and destitution for these countries, which certainly exacerbates the political conflicts that go on.
So what's the benefit here for the U.S.? How does educating children in the developing world directly impact the USA?
There's lots of good evidence to show that folks in the developing world, the more educated those populations are, the greater demand they have for American, for example, if you want to use the U.S. as the example, American